cuzzo? Where you at? You chillin'? That's what's up. Doing you. I miss you, man. I love you, man. If you ride with me, that's okay, that's on me. You can be yourself, you ain't gotta lie to me. I could come and slide you, I could be your pilot. We gon' live like we're never gonna see. On roadside, chillin' on the mountaintop. We just wanna jog ride, we only live one life. Lot of niggas terrified, don't wanna live a lie. Oh yeah, if you wanna ride, that's okay, that's on me. I got this feeling that my dreams will never come unless I chase it. I've been feeling hella lazy, need to push up on myself. Feel guilty conscious, keep me waiting on some help. Basically, I had insecurities. Mentally, I was killing myself, constantly running from my memory. Apparently, I was dealing with anxiety. Like, what is this inside of me? How do I identify it? Gotta get it out of me. I just wanna be free. If you ride with me, that's okay, that's on me. You can be yourself, you ain't gotta lie to me. I could come and slide you, I could be your pilot. We gon' live like we're never gonna see. On roadside, chillin' on the mountaintop. We just wanna jog ride, we only live one life. Lot of niggas terrified, don't wanna live a lie. Oh yeah, if you wanna ride, that's okay, that's on me. Rest assured, I'ma be an entrepreneur. I can feel it all in my bones. You can smell it like cologne. I thank God for never letting go. I'm in the studio, getting ready for the radio. Every day I'm always making sure that I'ma work towards my goals. I just wanna make sure I'm on focus. I don't wanna be homeless again. I like a cash flow in a back row with a love bug and a lot of hugs. I've been done wrong since I was young. And it's crazy, cause that's all I really want. If you ride with me, that's okay, that's on me. You can be yourself, you ain't gotta lie to me. I could come and slide you, I could be your pilot. We gon' live like we're never gonna see. On roadside, chillin' on the mountaintop. We just wanna jog ride, we only live one life. Lot of niggas terrified, don't wanna live a lie. Yeah, if you wanna ride, that's okay, that's on me. That's all I really want, chillin' on the mountaintop. That's all I really want. What's up, cuzzo? Where you at? You chillin'? That's what's up. Doing you. I miss you, man. I love you, man. If you ride with me, that's okay, that's on me. You can be yourself, you ain't gotta lie to me. I could come and slide you, I could be your pilot. We gon' live like we're never gonna see. On roadside, chillin' on the mountaintop. We just wanna jog ride, we only live one life. Lot of niggas terrified, don't wanna live a lie. Oh yeah, if you wanna ride, that's okay, that's on me. I got this feeling that my dreams will never come unless I chase it. I've been feeling hella lazy, need to push up on myself. Feel guilty conscious, keep me waiting on some help. Basically, I had insecurities. Mentally, I was killing myself, constantly running from my memory. Apparently, I was dealing with anxiety. Like, what is this inside of me? How do I identify it? Gotta get it out of me. I just wanna be free. If you ride with me, that's okay, that's on me. You can be yourself, you ain't gotta lie to me. I could come and slide you, I could be your pilot. We gon' live like we're never gonna see. On roadside, chillin' on the mountaintop. We just wanna jog ride, we only live one life. Lot of niggas terrified, don't wanna live a lie. Oh yeah, if you wanna ride, that's okay, that's on me. Rest assured, I'ma be an entrepreneur. I can feel it all in my bones. You can smell it like cologne. I thank God for never letting go. I'm in the studio, getting ready for the radio. Every day I'm always making sure that I'ma work towards my goals. I just wanna make sure I'm on focus. I don't wanna be homeless again. I like a cash flow in a back row with a love bug and a lot of hugs. I've been done wrong since I was young. And it's crazy, cause that's all I really want. If you ride with me, that's okay, that's on me. You can be yourself, you ain't gotta lie to me. I could come and slide you, I could be your pilot. We gon' live like we're never gonna see. On roadside, chillin' on the mountaintop. We just wanna...
Hi guys, right, guys. Look, last week we was into it. Okay, let me. Where's some good ones at? Cause I was into it with y'all last week. Huh? We talked about a lot of stuff. Hey Gerard. Hey Nana. Serena. Esther. Hi guys. We've been having our little Monday momentum, and it's been going good. So while we're here, we have Dr. Kristie on today, and I want to share with you guys. Someone told me, well, a few bees have asked me over the years, and I don't really go into what we do as a team. But I thought that this would be interesting because I forgot that, yeah, that now wait, we got our YouTube folks. I see y'all. I see y'all. Hi, YouTubies. Oh, okay. I can't wait till we all the way transfer over. Okay, guys. So, y'all can see. Y'all see where my little ADHD come in? Okay, so some of you guys ask, how do we host our team meetings and what we do at Black on the Job? So I want to give you guys a few little rundown. So if you're new here, hi, my name is Admin Sin, and you're inside of Black on the Job. I curated this space back in 2018, and we're a career development company geared towards getting Black professionals to six figures. And we do so through services from low cost to no cost, as well as workshops, certifications, trainings, and the whole gamut. And so, um, this is one of our spaces as well. Now, within career and professional development is a lot of mental development too, right? Because professional and personal development kind of go hand in hand. And so at Black on the Job, because I'm the owner and we could do what we want to do over there because we ain't government funded and all that other shit going on, we have very unique and different type of things that we do that's not typically done within corporate America. I will say that 90% of the things that we do at Black on the Job is not done in corporate America. So we have um, agnostic, Christian, Catholics, and Muslims on the team. And so once every 2 weeks, we have a group religious study. We pick a topic, and who wants to come comes, and we bust out all the holy books and bust out all the different psychological thresholds, and we discover new topics. And so one of the topics that we discussed last week was what it looks like to have like the highest form of love. And the highest form of love within all of our religious and psychological contexts was the love of allowing people to make their own choice. And in Christianity, it's called agape love. And Islam is about taqwa, which is reliance on God and being faithful and, his overall plan. And we talked about what it looks like as the psychological lens of like detached love or love with boundaries, things like that. And it was a very good discussion to understand that sacrifice is actually the highest form of love. And so we discussed, what does that mean at Black on the Job, and how can we do so here at Black on the Job to show our bees more love. And so we have the saying in corporate America that the customer is always right. And so we had a bee that we were working on as a team because she ordered a resume. However, the field that she wanted to get into was a field that is looking at being eliminated. And she wanted to do it within the federal sector. So y'all already know. We like, no, girl, we not about to write your resume for this. No, 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 right? So the writers come in, and the writers, the way our process works is that if our career coach makes an assessment, now mind you, she did not get career consultation services. She only got resume services. And so at Black on the Job, I had what we call an autonomy situation, to where the writer makes the final decision. So the writers are the ones who go through the most training with me. And what I mean by that is that each one of the writers at Black on the Job goes through 1 full year of 4 days a week, 2 hours a day of training with me. So they have to train rigorously for 1 full year before they're allowed to write for Black on the Job. I know, sounds crazy, but I have control issues, right? So this is why we're having this study. And so the writer made a final decision on the client's resume that the career field that she wanted to go into, he did not write the resume for. And because of that, we got a bad review, right? The lady called in, she emailed in, and she made a bad review. And so we came back to the table. We spoke with the client, and she was like, no, I want my resume written for this field. And so I said, well, totally understandable. Not trying to just, take your money and do what we want to do. We just believe that this is not the right option. Right. And she said, yeah, but I have a lead and this is what I want to do. No problem. Right. So we write the resume for that field. She comes back about 2 weeks later, and she's not getting the traction that she wanted. She's seeing that the field is oversaturated, the government is shutting down. What do we do from here? Right. And so the writer then was like, well, let me just rewrite the resume for this field. Let me do this, let me do that. And I was like, well, no, because she sent an email in, and the email stated that she thanks us for giving her what she wanted. It didn't pan out the way that she wanted to, but she appreciates the opportunity to do things her way. And so that was that, right? But we believe in autonomy, and we believe in just letting people do as they so choose and choice to do. The writer decided on his own to rewrite that resume. He was just didn't sit well in his spirit. He went behind everybody's back, which is not behind our back, but behind our back, and he took full control. He went ahead, rewrote her resume, and sent her an email and said, hey, I don't do career coaching here at Black on the Job. I write resumes. And so although I don't do career coaching, I have written enough resumes to where I can tell by your skill level that this resume will serve you well. And that this is a reason why these are the jobs you qualify for. He did an in-depth analysis, sent her a 20-page report on where her skills would have fit within the federal government sector, why she was important, all of the fun stuff, right? And I'm looking at it because she takes the resume. And then he even went so far. He found, I mean, he did full career coaching, quite honestly. He found roles for her to apply to. It was like, apply here, apply here, apply here, right? So he does all of this work. Unbeknownst to me, how did I find out? All of a sudden, we get a email from Google, which I've never gotten before, about someone changing their review. And she changed it to a 5-star review. And it was an I got the job post, and she got a $50,000 salary increase. And in that moment, we have a few different compliance breaches, right? For one, you do not reach out to the client unless the client asks. We are not bugging and bothering the clients. You're giving free services away. Now this client got 3 It's a lot going on as far as compliancy is concerned. And so, the manager came over to me asking, well, what should we do in this situation? And that's when we were having our Bible study later on, and we brought this up, and it was, we let the writer speak freely. And he said, my job here at Black on the Job is to help people get jobs. And so if you're asking me to do something that is against my moral beliefs, I don't want to do that. And he said that he did not appreciate me telling him that he should not have written that resume, and that he felt as though he should have the choice to do what is in best interest for the client if best and right equals together. He said, you wanted to do what was in best interest of her, according to what you think is best. But, respectfully, Adminson, I intimately know the client's resume. I intimately know the frustrations within federal government. I'm the one rewriting resumes for people who moved into the federal sector who's being laid off. And so you're trying to tell me how to do my job. And although it is your company, I have the free will and choice to do what's in best and right interest for R&B. And so I said, okay, then let it be. Right. And it was a very surreal moment because this is one of our quieter writers. He doesn't really challenge a lot. He really doesn't speak often. And so he's one of those people that when he speaks, people listen because he's not one to say a lot of words. And it reminded me that this is a larger mission. We looked up what surrendering is and what that highest form is and how we could adopt that more at Black on the Job. And he did the right thing, you know? And so I apologized, of course, right? And the accountability was, well, okay, if a situation happens like this again, the way we will approach the situation is that if the writer and the consultant are at a disagreement of the client's alignment, then it is better for the company to pay for two resumes. So pay the writer out twice to write both resumes and send both off versus, me making a unilateral decision, right? I had to fall on my sword. It is what it ain't. It ain't what it is, right? And I appreciate how we were able to have a deeper biblical and Quranic and Judaic and Catholic and psychological breakdown of what that is and what it looks like to show love and say, you know what? Because he could have been wrong. Could have fucked up, bothered that client pissed off, right? I told you what I told you, what I told you, right? But you know, it allowed me to understand that although I don't think that I have control issues and things like that with Black on the Job, I'm definitely, of the mindset of, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. Right. And at the same time, I have to realize that in order to empower and, turn the light on for others, I have to give them the autonomy as well as the freedom to flap their own wings, even if that means falling on their ass. He overworked himself. All of his projects were still due at that time frame. He ended up being late on two other resumes, which meant that he had to write those free cover letters. But he was willing to do that. So if he's willing to do that and he's willing to take full accountability of any of that fallout, then let it be, you know? And I love the space that we work in because when it comes to leadership and challenging your beliefs and challenging what you think is right, sometimes that challenge may come from someone that you it's when the teacher becomes the student. I was very much taken aback when he said directly to me, and I felt offended. I was offended that you tried to tell me what was in best interest of my client, that I listened to that call and I'm the one that got the bad review. Like it's not just Black on the Job's bad review. This is a review of my work. And I was like, well, shit. I mean, well, tell me, and I like that they take pride in their work. They are so, 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 so prideful about the work that they do at Black on the Job and not from an egotistical way, but from a way of like, study and show thyself approved. And so I wanted to bring this to you guys because I definitely understand that there are different type of work environments. And sometimes we think that these work environments are all just, terrible and all those things, but there's hope. There's hope out here. There are different companies that run differently. And the uniqueness of how they are ran, especially if you're a business owner or if you're in an agile setting, don't don't always doubt yourself. Go all the way to the limit. As long as you're okay with the outcome, meaning that if that requires you to do something different or if that requires you to fail fast and then fail up, have yourself and give yourself that room to fly. Okay. So let's bring on Dr. Kristie. Let me see how I do my little stuff. Hey, Dr. Kristie, how are
Hello, hello. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Look, thank you for giving me some energy on
you?
today. I love it, love it, love it.
Yes, I was like, you know what? We gonna have to bring this into Dr. Kristie. She gonna have to hear about this one. Hi, Shibi. I see you on YouTube, Carlene. Hi. Yes, it was. She said it sounds like a whole upgrade in processes to me. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
We had to
Mm-hmm.
refine. We
Mm-hmm.
had to refine, and I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
It's a little uncomfortable.
Yes.
The writers take it more. I'm so used to them being like, admin send, what do we do? Admin send, what do we do?
Yes. Yes.
But this was different. This was
Yes.
different.
Yes.
But
I
yeah.
I consider myself that way. I'm pretty quiet. I always say I'm quiet until I have something to say. And so if I'm speaking, I think people better listen because usually I won't say anything unless I'm really passionate about it. And it seems as if your writer was very passionate at that moment. So I like it. I like it. And I love the agape love that we're talking about. For 1 Corinthians 13, we call it the love chapter. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not, doesn't puff itself up. And he was feeling all those things for his situation, for the situation, and he wanted to and he wanted to serve. I mean, we can't go wrong when it comes to serving. We can't go wrong, even if it hits us, smacks us in the face, right? Even if, like you said, even if it comes back to bite you in the butt, we learned from it and we gave with a free heart.
Yes, yes. And I had another bee. She is signing up for your mini mental cures, and she's
Yes.
can't wait to do when it comes to our new segment. And she had an interview prep, and so during that interview prep, she is we call her right now. Every other week we have what we call the rah rah bee, and that's
Yes.
our feisty bee of the week. We already know
Okay.
that's somebody that's pew pew pew, right?
Yes.
So we get into the interview prep, and she's just like, I'm not for sure if I want to go for this role anymore. I'm not for sure if the resume aligns with what we discussed, and this is and that. I said, okay, what makes you feel that way? And she's like, well, I'm in Texas and I'm not seeing any change management jobs, and I need a job that's on site. I said, so are you applying for only on site roles? Well, I'm not seeing them. So are you not seeing any change management roles or on-site roles? And she was like, well, I have to do it on site. She gave me this full explanation. I said, so it sounds like to me that this is a encouragement issue, not a confident issue, and that you're just discouraged, And I had her watch your live from last week. And so for our interview prep, that's what we did. We watched the live,
Okay.
and then afterwards, she was just bawling and crying and crying. And I said, you know what? Can I pray? Can I pray for you? Can we pray together?
Yes.
We prayed, and then afterwards, I said, so you're going to take a week off. You're not going to apply for anything because you still have a job.
Yeah.
You're going to just sit,
Yes.
and be still.
Pause.
Just pause, because she was.
Yes.
She came in
spiraling.
raw,
Yes.
And you're right. It was a spiraling. And
Yes.
sometimes what we see as people being defensive or people being upset,
Yes.
is that. And I try to look at the word defense as a point of not like armor that you put on like a soldier, but the actual act of defending is being in war with someone. Sometimes we don't get that defending is attacking because you're protected.
Exactly.
So it's like, when people are defensive, they are in the act of attacking someone because they're trying to protect themselves. And when I'm speaking with the career consultants and with the resume writers and training them and stuff, that's something I go over a lot with them, is that when someone is defensive, the reason why you're on the offense and you're attacking back is because y'all have decided to go to war with one another.
Yes.
Instead of just asking for a second, well, why she got her sword out anyway?
Yes, exactly. Like why does she feel the need to protect? What's going on?
Right. And it's spiraling sometimes.
Yes.
Spiraling. So
yes.
Dr. Kristie, when we're talking about the mini mental, and people are, as we said, one way of, not accepting that reality is getting defensive. Instead of getting defensive, what is something else they could do?
Well, just like I say, I would say reflect. Look inward rather than outward, right? Rather than outward, say, okay, what's going on with me, right? What is there's something that's going on in me. So once again, we go back to that pause and what is it that is happening with me right now? Okay, let me take a moment. Let me reevaluate the situation and pay attention to what's going on around me as well, right? Because is it something that's from the out, or is it something that's going on inside of me? That's what I would say.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because maybe it is something that is coming up, but the why is not on the outside. But
Exactly.
we're exuberating it on the outside.
Exactly.
Ah, good, good, good. Okay, so we're like what, a week away from our Be Well series, Dr.
Exactly.
Are you
Exactly.
excited?
I'm very excited because I want to get to know them one on one. I want to know what their situation is, right? So that I can get specific to them, specific to their needs, what's happening. And because, like right now, the things are pretty broad, but we can get a little bit more in depth. We can dig a little more. We can share a little more and see what's going on with each bee individually. So I'm really excited because I love hearing, I love listening, right? And then be able to apply what it is that you need, specifically what it is that you need, because all of us need something a little bit different. Like we have the umbrella effect of things that can happen, but if you're 5 feet and I give you the other kind of umbrella, that might not work. That might pull you through to the wind, right? We all need an umbrella, but what type of umbrella do you need? Specific, right?
Right, right.
Right.
And
And we
do you think that when it comes to how people deal with job loss in general, or kind of getting back on their feet, is it unique to the person, or is everyone kind of following a plan, but then they kind of put their own twing to it?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's that umbrella effect. Everybody can kind of use the same tools, but how much you twist it, right? Or which tool you need. You may need a different type of plier, right? Or a different type of oh Lord, look at me.
Ah,
A flathead or a star shaped one. It just depends on you specific. So it's the same type of tool per se, but it's how you use it.
okay, okay. So I know last week we talked about pause, plan, and pivot, and
Yes, yes,
we had a few different bees comment about it. And
yes.
one of them had said, and well, a few of them said when we were taking our survey, was they
Hmm.
don't know what pause looks like.
Yes. And so right now, are we talking about like when they freeze? Is
No,
that what you? No.
like when we say pause, plan, and pivot. Planning, they
Yes.
understand. I got to plan out my next thing. I got to switch careers. But what is
Yes.
pausing? What does that look like?
Okay. Pause is just taking a moment because we said it's a moment, right? We're not stopping. We're taking a moment because we need to reevaluate and see where it is we are and what in order to figure out what it is we're going to do. And that's when it comes to being honest with yourself, right? Where it is that I am right now. Oh, and perfect. I got it right here. Because they may be in a shock mode, right?
Mhm.
And we need to switch from shock to strategy, which is the plan, right? That may be part, the strategizing is part of the plan, but we may be in shock mode right now. And then that's kind of where we ended off last week when we said that when we were talking about the ice, right?
Yeah.
And so that ice can be the shock mode. And so you're hard, and you know how, like, if you got hit, you got the wind knocked out of you, right? So that may be where you are when it comes to that pause moment. You got to figure out where it is that you are. Are you that piece of ice right now? Are you so that you're frozen, or are you hurt? Are you hurt? Because it could be just like when you wake up in the middle of the night and you go to the restroom and you stub your toe.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
right? So again, we're in a shock to strategy mode, but are you hurt? But you don't want to yell because you don't want to wake up everybody else. Or you don't want to say that curse word that's right at the tip of your tongue. It just depends on where it is. So in that pause moment, you're figuring out what's going on with me. How do I feel? Be honest with yourself. Am I ice right now where I'm frozen and I don't know what to do? Am I in a shock mode where I'm hurt? Is it that I'm spinning? I don't know what is going on right now. But we don't want to be in denial. So
mhm.
that's why we're pausing to figure it out where it is we are right now. Be honest with yourself. Where am I? And you want to take time to process. That's what the pause is. The pause is take some time to process, but make sure that you make that time limited because you don't want to go into to a depression. I like to talk about depression as down and away from the press, down and away from the press. You don't want to stop pressing. You don't want to stop moving forward. You don't want to stop your momentum from rolling like that train, left a good job in the city, like Tina Turner.
Oh God, that gave me started.
Yeah, no, you got to keep rolling. And you know how that song, I love music. When she did that song, she was really slow in the beginning. But
Yeah.
then later she was like, hey, working for the man every night and day. Right? Right? So we want that momentum to keep going, but it may begin slowly, and that's okay. But we don't, that's why we're pausing, and because we're going to get back to the movie, right? We're not stopping it. So that's the whole point of what that pause is for. That pause is for you. That pause time is a moment for you to accept that, okay, this happened, right? Just like a breakup. Okay, it happened. Even if you're on your knees crying, get it out. That's what the pause is for. You getting it out, you're releasing, you're figuring out where it is you are, how you feel about the situation, what's going on. And then now we're going into the planning mode. So you're, like you said, are you in a shock? Are you ice right now? Are you hurt? Are you falling over? Are you down and out? But we don't want to allow ourselves to go into a depressive state. So that's why we're just pausing to figure out how it is that how do I feel about what's going on right now, and accepting wherever it is that you are. We're not in denial, we're accepting it.
Hi, Cece. We see you on YouTube. She said this information is so helpful. And Charlotte said this makes so much sense in my life right now. That's so good. And I'm breaking down to you a few different ways. For my tree huggers, that's when I'll be saying, honor thy feelings.
Yes.
This is a time that you're honoring your feelings, right?
Yes.
And it's also a time to where you can't plan from an emotional state. Right. I believe in separating emotion and logic. So pause for me is the emotion and planning is the logic. Right.
There we go.
Good bees. Y'all know how we say. Are we gonna do it? Or are we gonna cry? We're like shit, we're gonna do both. But we're just gonna do one first. We're gonna, this is the time, this is the time. Lie.
Look, empty out the water. Let it be angry. Go ahead. Let it all that.
Yeah. Because it's going to impact you.
Yes. Yeah. Especially if it was a job you loved, especially if it's something you were passionate about, especially you got to remember you were connected to the people in that place, even though they were your workplace family, your workplace peeps, workplace connection, but that's who you spend most of the time with of the day. And most of your waking hours are in the job place, in the workplace. So you have to remember that all of that, that's heavy. That can be very heavy for people, for someone. Yeah. And like I said, and so don't deny it. Don't say, oh, I'm going to miss. Don't deny that you're going to miss your boss because you guys had a connection.
Right.
I may be pissed off at that boss as well, but that's why I said it's all about pausing and accepting the environment, accepting the situation, accepting it, and then releasing it, and letting it be, like you just talked about. Let it be. Look, we'll go back to the Beatles. Let it be. Let it be what it is, because it is what it is. So just accepting it, and that's what that whole pause moment is about. Is for you to figure out what's going on, accept it, and process it so that you can get to the strategizing and the planning.
So, Dr. Kristie, you know what I do? You could tell me. You ain't gotta lie to the folks. You can tell me if I'm doing something crazy. Okay, so what I do is I have what I call honey hive funerals, and so
say that again.
It's called the honey hive funerals.
A honey hive funeral. Okay.
I have a process that I call welcoming despair.
Okay.
And that's when I have taken the complete honesty that this will not happen. Not that it won't happen in the future, not that, maybe one day or we can fix it. It's literally a funeral. And so I go through the full process. I mean, I have a little black veil that I wear. I swear to God, I'll be reading off the notes. I'm like, here goes thy project that is dead today, and it's followed by, she leaves behind, and I'll talk about the new projects that I'm going to have coming up. and
Okay.
I cry because if it's a
Yes.
like I can get attached.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I also do this when I fire an employee or an employee quits or goes somewhere else. But
Yes.
we have funerals for it, like because
Very
I
cool.
have such an emotional attachment to it.
Yes. Yes.
I go through the I mean, we be like, oh gosh, I'm a widow, weeping widow, and
Yes.
I go through that because I'm like, you know what? Welcoming despair has taught me that if I bury something, I can grow flowers on top of it. It gives me room to put something else.
Very good. Very
But if
good.
it's not buried, nothing can grow on top. But there's only so much graveyard space. And so
Yes.
you gotta start burying some things. And so that's what I do.
Well, I look. You told me you want me to tell you if I am in agreement with what you're sharing and or what you or your actions that you've chosen to take, and I am 100% in agreement with you. And I want to remind everyone and you to show you how well you are doing. What's the first three letters of funeral?
FUN, fun.
I'm going to have fun. I want them to have fun at my funeral because I promise you, I'm going to be having fun. Because I'm in a better place. I promise you. So I've told my husband, I don't want everybody sad, talking sour. I want the music that I like. I want my favorite songs. I want to have literally a celebration. Now, everybody says that these days about a celebration of life, but I want you to celebrate the life that I lived. Because what's done is done. It's not is he not bringing me back to life. Look, don't let me go. Let me
Let me
go when it's that time.
go.
Let me go. So I always remember that the first three letters of funeral is fun, and you need to have fun. So same thing. Once you process, right? So the days before you get to my celebration, process, pause, and do whatever it is you need to do, because I want you to come back and have fun, knowing that I'm in a good place and I would want you to be in a good place, and you will always have all the memories, all the good stuff. And we're going to party today because we're going to put on my music. If you know me, I love music and I love to dance, right? And so that's what we're going to do. So you in the right space, you in the right lane.
Oh, yes. You know what? I love this. Dr. Chrissy, one thing that I have added, and I was telling my mom about this, especially during Ramadan, I think that I've added to my prayers is that, Lord, when I die, let me die empty with no dreams left behind and no dreams left unfulfilled. I told my mom, I said, I want everybody to know that
Yes.
if I have fulfilled every single dream, don't even cry. Y'all
Yeah.
good.
No.
Okay. I want to
No.
die completely empty. Like
Yes.
complete. I don't want to have not one I could have. If
Yes.
I want to try it all.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Kristie is good.
You know what? I love that because when it comes to that pausing, that is the way that we should go. That
Yes.
pausing allows you that full moment. And, sometimes when you see people that are able to plan, execute, start something new, and people are like, this is a fucking machine. Because that's what they
Yes.
tell me. They be like,
Yes.
Sin, you are a machine. And I'm like,
Yes.
I'm not a machine. I
Yes.
just have designated silos. And so
Yes.
my designated emotional time, I'm
Yes.
gonna have that full moment. I'm gonna call my friends. We're gonna ruminate on it. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes.
I just switched the story 10 times. Like,
Yes.
no, they fired, they didn't fire me. I left. I left. I left. I
That
left.
part. That
I
was something I wanted to share when we were talking when it comes to like rebuilding momentum when you're frozen or when you're in that shock space. Something I wanted to talk about was reconnecting with your strengths. You lost, you're the one that's at a loss, not something better. It's something different intended for me, right? And so I'm now reconnecting with my strengths. I remember when I decided when it was time for me to go back to work, I was so happy that Champ was of age, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to get back out there because I do not like being closed in. I love people. I want to interact, and so I was like, I need to get back out there. And so my friend, she worked with me, and we redid my resume. And I was like, oh, I forgot all about that. Man, I'm so good. Look at that. All of what I've done. And so, yeah, you reconnect with your strengths and recognize, oh, I was going to say this later, but I just have to say it right now because it just makes me feel so good. When you're reconnecting with your strengths, you realize your value. And your value is beyond what it is that you do for the workplace,
Yeah.
right? But you when you reconnect with those strengths, it reminds you of all that you do, all the good, all the abilities that you have, all of the strengths that you have, all of the um wow, I'm trying to like the classes, the certifications, this, that, or
Yeah.
whatever. It's those are like flowers, right? They remind you, like we said, the ones that you're putting on top of the casket, it's just flowers, right? And so yes, you definitely reconnect with your strengths and recognize your value, and that the value is way beyond all of what you see. So if I'm more valuable than what's on this resume paper,
Woo! You know what, Dr. Kristie? I call it Lulu. All my friends know what I mean. I call it Lulu. When I'm feeling down, I go la 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 la. I call all my love back to me. No, fuck that. If I pour it into you, I am calling a drop back. La 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 la. Like this. I need somebody to come hype me up.
Yes, yes. And last time we were talking about that circle. That's why that circle is so important, and making sure that the people within that circle are selective. Because I'm telling you right now, if I need to be built up, if I need to call somebody and tell them I just got fired, I'm not calling my mother. I love her with my whole heart. I love her with all of my heart, with all of my very being, but I'm not calling her
Oh
because
God.
my mom is more of a, go to school, she did not get her degree, so she's like, get your degree, do this, and step by step, right? And like, it has to happen this way. If it doesn't happen that way, then so she's gonna be like, oh my God, what are you gonna do? And I don't need that. I'm already there by myself. What's next? So that's why I said, make sure that you're selective with your circle. And it's not, like I said, it's not that she's a bad person in my circle. It's just not the person that I need to call in this situation.
No,
So
no,
that's why I said, be selective. You know the ones that you need to call. It's gonna be like, oh, whatever. Like I said, their loss.
you know what? My mama, it depends. You know what I mean? I gotta be honest. My mama,
Yes.
it depends on the situation. Because first, if I can stomach the first 5 minutes,
Hmm.
then we'll get on a good foot. But she is gonna be like, "What?
Yes.
When? Oh my God! Out of
Yes.
nowhere? What?"
Yes.
And then
Well,
afterwards, she's like, "You know what? But don't worry about it."
yes, exactly. Like if it's something physical, right? If it's a medical something or something physical, that's the first person I'm calling. Mom, they said this, because I always say I never get sick. I always say that. I've always said that since I was a kid. I never get sick. And I don't get sick. Literally, I do not get sick. My mom is very, like, she went through cancer. She had breast cancer. She had stage 3 breast cancer. And my mom has always been very physical, very athletic per se, like not necessarily sports, but very physical. She will walk, because you're from LA, she will walk from the inner city all the way to the beach.
Oh,
Yeah, and back.
oh yeah.
She just loves to go. She loves to go. So that's what I'm saying. You have to know your circle. You have to be selective, and when you're reconnecting with your strengths and you're using that circle and you need them to fill you up, make sure you're picking the right one. I would pick my mother if it has anything to do with the physicalness, because she's like, girl, you can beat that. Come on. Like, let's go out here and do some push-ups. Let's go out here and go for a long walk. Let's do this. So you have to know who and pick and choose. Don't tell everybody, because everybody is not about that life.
I'm be honest, my friends know not to call me. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the friend to call if you need encouragement. I am not the encouragement friend. I am the confidence friend. That's why
Yes.
because I don't do encouragement very well.
Yes. Yes.
Because my thing is like, okay, so what? Damn, okay, all right. Well, you know what? We did have this going on, and so we can go ahead and like, you could just start crying. I'd be like, oh, this is not the planning stage.
You need to go pause with Dr. Kristie and then come
Yeah,
back.
no, Lord. And once you feel that, I got
Yes.
you.
Yes.
But like you say something, I say, okay, so what we're gonna do is, or what
Yes.
you gonna do about it? What you thinking for? They're like, I'm not thinking, I just feel like, and as soon as I hear feel like, I put that phone on mute and then I grab my note section of my phone and I have like 6 different sentences written down. One of them is like, it's okay, friend, you got this. And then I played with that. It's okay, friend. You got okay, friend.
Well, look,
I'm not doing that.
like I said, if your friends are selective, they know what they getting when they call you.
No, I had a
maybe
friend
they need
recently.
maybe they need the kick in the butt. That's why they called you.
I had a friend recently that was like, when I'm calling you, I'm not about. I want to talk about the emotions before we get to the mental. I said,
Yes.
girl, that goes against my religion. I can't do this.
You got it out of order. You called me at the wrong step. We gonna get you higher, but but we need to get to this step.
Because like I'm building and planning at the same time. I
Yes.
can't, I'm like, yeah, you got this, girl. This resume don't mean nothing. We're gonna get this together. You got the skills, you got this, you got that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna
And
do this. And I can't, yeah.
and that's the thing. Some people, that step doesn't take long for them at all. Right? That's why I said that's why you have to know yourself, and that's why you're pausing. Okay, how do I feel about this? I
You
know,
better know
girl.
before you call me. That's what
Yeah.
that's what
But yeah, that's the whole purpose of the pause. That's the whole purpose of pause, to
okay.
figure out where it is. How do I feel about this? Where am I at? It doesn't even have to be a feeling thing, because you might not be there. You're like, I don't feel, it's not that I'm numb. It's just, okay, what's next?
Yeah. Yeah.
Depends on
Yeah.
the person. So just
Okay.
accept, pausing to figure out how do you feel about this? Where am I? And then now we're going to go into the plan phase.
Okay. What do you think that someone would have to do or have the mindset of to be successful in the 6-week program?
Say that one more time for me.
Like, because they do this with me with career coaching all the time. They say, "Well, Admin, how do I prepare? How do they
hmm
prepare
hmm
their part to be well? What's the preparation look like?"
Prepare to listen,
Mm,
right?
okay.
Be prepared to challenge your thinking,
Mm,
because a lot of us are programmed, right? A program, whether it was by our parents, whether it is by the television and what their society is telling us. So be prepared to be challenged, and then be prepared to act.
mm,
And you don't have to always understand, just trust, right?
mm.
Yeah, you don't have to always understand. Like this, that doesn't make any sense. Okay. But we trying to make some sense. Some sense. We trying to make some sense. We're not trying to make sense, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I will say that is important. You have
hmm
to trust the experts, especially when it comes. I get a lot of slack for building a plane while flying. And
Yes.
what I tell people all the time is that, well, first off, my plane is off the ground. Let's talk there.
Yes.
It's in the air. Top
Yeah.
of the right,
Yes.
right. And
Yeah.
I build the plane while flying because I have an instruction manual. And
Yes.
so, although it may not make sense on
Yes.
how it's going, you
Yes.
gotta trust that I got it off the ground.
Exactly. That I
You know,
know what I'm doing, and I'm taking you in the right direction. And whatever it is you're doing is not getting you there. So we're okay with ruffling some feathers. We're okay with shaking the dust and wiping it clean, so that we can do something new, right? And like I said, we're going higher. So
Mm,
so whatever it is that you're receiving, whatever it is that you're getting, but trust and believe that it's going to take me where I want to go, because I don't want to stay here.
mm.
So that's what I would say. I would just say, be prepared to be challenged, right? Be prepared to receive, and be prepared to act.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so that will go into when people feel like they're not ready. but you're
Yes,
telling them to move, although they may not feel ready, right?
exactly. Right. And that's talking about courage. That's what we're talking about, courage, right? Yeah,
Right,
because you
right.
may not feel like it. You may not think that this is the right thing to do. You may not think that this is a good idea, but we've gone on this road before, right?
Right.
And even if you like reflect a little bit, I've been here before. Maybe not necessarily in the job space, but I've been down before.
Yeah.
And we will get to the next level. We will get to the next step. We will go higher. We will get up. We will get up. And that's when it comes to where we're talking about redirection, right? It's
Mm,
redirection. This is I'm not allowing whatever happened to decide who it is that I am, or like I said, my value,
right, right, right.
right? And just look at it like a relationship. I'm not letting what he did change who I am.
Right.
I'm still wonderfully made. I'm beautiful beyond measure. I am expensive. I am valuable, high above all the ruby price. I'm all that and the bag of chips.
Yeah.
And just because somebody else didn't recognize it, and when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about the fact that that rejection piece, right? Because I kind of equated it to a man, approaching a woman, and how I've talked with men before, and how they say, oh man, that's hard, that's rough, that rejection piece that you get every time. And I never thought about it because I'm not on that side of the situation. But I guess that would be, and that's how people are feeling right now when it comes to putting out those resumes. They may be feeling that rejection and allowing it to hit them hard. But just realize that that's just redirection. That was not meant for you. And I can give a personal example. I was overqualified for a position. And we know sometimes that within itself is a situation, right? But this position was made for me. And if you look at my resume and my life, it was for me. And I did not get the position. And it was a whole lot that went into that. But I was one of the where I got sucker punched. I couldn't breathe. Literally, I got hit, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" But just like I talked about that circle, I reached out to someone. I knew the right
Mhm.
person to reach out to, and she was like, "Oh, I could have told you not to do it." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "Why?" But she just all she did is fill me up. So
Mm,
it was just a matter of realizing and recognizing it wasn't for me. And it was listening to her, it was probably what was best for me, even though I didn't see it at the time. And now I'm well aware of it because my gifts, my abilities would have just been, in this small circle instead of I needed to get out of the box. And I kept trying to put myself back into the box because that's what I was familiar with.
You know, I will say that Black on the Job came from a rejection. I had tried to, well, I didn't try to. Going out of college, you guys know I was facing that felony for credit card theft and fraud. For a credit card, I did not steal. So, because my charges were in Virginia, and when I went to court, they dropped them down to a misdemeanor. So, I had ended up applying for this temp agency out here called We the People. And they placed me at this company until I was an HR manager. And I was thinking in my head that, okay, if I work these first 2 weeks before my background check comes back and I really show myself, and show what I can do, they'll keep me. And
Yes.
so I was working so hard, so hard. And then I got called into the office and they let me go. And it was the day that actually Trump got elected the first year. Tanisha Bailey, she's in the group. She was a project manager there. And I was devastated. When I say I bawled, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to pay my rent. Like,
Yeah.
I really needed this check, and like, I won't be able to pay my rent. And I've been on your team, and I've been doing so good, and I've been trying so hard. Like, if they can just at least give me the opportunity to explain to them that it's
Yes.
not a felony, and like, I was and then they had this nonprofit out here called YP. They had an election watch party. And so she said, you know what, Sin, I'm going to take you back to my house with me because I didn't have a car. She's like, I'm going to take you back to my house. We're going to get some food and then we're going to go to the watch party. And I said, okay, but I am a wreck, so we get to her house and, she's like, you can put a little bit of makeup on, girl. We're going to, get you on something else. And so she gave me some clothes to wear and she fed me and I am still just crying off the makeup and trying to wipe my face. It was a mess. And so then, of course, the election comes. That's bad news. I'm even more of a mess, but at that point, I really didn't care, but I cared. It was just so much going on. And so then I went to my mom and my mom was like, well, I know this company that's looking for a recruiter. They don't do background checks, just go on in. And I was like, I don't want to. But
this is what I wanted,
this
right?
is what I want.
Yeah. We think we know what's best. The customer is not always right.
I wanted the hard, and I went into that job and I hated it. They taught me recruiting and I hated it. And then one day Admin Joe comes in. And they were like, okay, we got a new, talent acquisition manager. And you know what, Cece, you're going to be under Joe. And I said, okay, whatever, And so I ended up moving into Joe's office and she sat me right next to her and she taught me everything she knew. Yeah. And then I remember I came to her one day and I was like, Joe, what happens if I start this Facebook group and some of the tips I give you, we can help other Black people, and we start talking about it and stuff. And she said, girl, you could do that. Yeah, you sit right here. You do what you want to do, And then I had this Black woman walk in and she changed my life because I redid her resume because they told me I couldn't hire her. But I redid her resume because I really liked her. She was so classy. And so I redid her resume. She got this job at ASU and boom, Black on the job got started.
There you go.
That quick, and I remember that day. I remember crying, God, you promised me that if I do the right thing and I've been doing the right thing and every time I do the right thing, nothing goes right. I lost my job. I lost my apartment. I got an eviction on my record. My car was repossessed. My credit score went to a 480. And I didn't even have money for food. When I was working with Joe, she would feed me every day. And I felt so ugly because she comes in so classy and stuff. And I didn't even have clothes,
Yes. Yeah.
And it was such a hard time. But every single day she poured into me. Every single day she was like, you got this, girl. You don't worry about that. And she was like, instead of asking me, why are you wearing those shoes? She'll come in. She'll be like, girl, I stopped at this store and I thought these shoes were your size,
Yes.
She just kept doing it. She just kept. And she let me grow Black on the job right there. At that time, they fired me again, but they fired me because I was too busy at Black on the job. And when I got fired, I said, Joe, what do I do? I don't know. I don't have a job anymore. And she was like, you sit there and you
do what you've been doing, girl.
You work Black on the job, it'll work out. She's like, it'll work out. You just sit there and you do that. And I was like, okay.
And that is so funny because just like we said, even though you don't see it, that's what I'm saying. You just have to trust, because the same thing happened to me per se, that they reached out to me. Number one, they apologized. They asked me to come in and talk with them about the process and how they messed up. And then I got a call back again. And I swear when they called me back, it was like they wanted to see if I would volunteer myself. And I was like, no, that door closed for a reason. To myself, I knew that it closed for a reason. But just to know that they realized how they messed up. That's why I said, so just see it as a redirection. It may be hard to swallow, right? But just know that it's for your good.
Yeah. Every time I have been fired, I use so much of the stuff that I've learned now. I can see it come out in Black on the job. But every single time that I went into a new opportunity, I didn't feel ready. I just didn't.
Yes.
I didn't feel like a recruiter, and I didn't feel like a business owner, and I didn't feel like those things. I was just like, my mom was like, just take that job. And I was like, okay, I need you want me to. I do. But I never feel ready.
Yes.
Never.
Yeah.
One day I know I arrived.
Yes, most definitely.
But I don't know what feel ready feels like.
Yeah. You learn while you go. You
Right.
learn while you go.
And I think it builds that confidence up as you continue to get there,
Exactly.
you can, just have just enough courage to take that step,
Exactly.
you're just
That's all
like
you
you're
need.
wobbling. You just, I
Exactly.
don't know, guys, if this is the hell I'm supposed to be,
Just like we said, that bird and those wings.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then you're real frantic.
I feel like I feel to me is that you don't ever feel ready. It's just
Mhm.
one day you are ready.
Yes.
That knowing doesn't come until you are in the doing, you
Did
know?
I did I share that with you guys? I can't remember if I shared that with Black on the Job, but your feelings will fool you.
No, you didn't, but I'm about to write that down. Go ahead. You just say what you say, girl, because I believe in that. Okay.
Yes, your feelings will fool you. I mean, and we have predominantly women in the group, right? Like when you have a baby and all the pain and all the push and all the this and all the that, and then less than a year, oh, I want another one.
Oh my.
Your your feelings will fool you. You think like at that moment, it's like I never want to do this again.
Your feelings will fool you. Wow, yeah. I could
Hmm.
see that because I don't think there's a such thing as feeling ready. I think you
Yeah.
just know
Hmm.
once you've adapted, once you didn't fell on your ass a few times
Hmm.
and then got back up and you're like, oh, okay,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
all right.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Or
So,
sometimes even the opposite way when you say, "Oh, I feel like I can do this," and then you get there and you're like, "Oh, oh my gosh, there's so much more than I was anticipating."
that is me every okay. Every day I'm like, I can do that. Like, okay, so you guys are doing a Lean Sigma Weber, whatever. I don't need that. I got the tech. I crashed the website this weekend. It was wild. It was just, they was like, Sam, what were you doing? I was like, well, I was trying to optimize it. They was like, do you know what optimize means? I said, I'm not
Optimizing is not crashing.
I'm not being questioned today. Yeah, you know what? I'm the boss here. Oh gosh, you're so right. Your feelings will fool you. Okay, so they need to trust. Okay. Dr. Chrissy, anything else you feel like you want to make sure that they know this week?
um, just to make sure that you're having the right mindset shifts when it comes to fear to action. Fear to action. Make sure you're having the right mindset shifts when it comes to it. Instead of saying, "What if I fail? What if I succeed?"
Mm,
Right, right. And then what if I'm not ready? Well, I'll learn in the process.
mm,
Right.
mm,
Um, happening to me or happening for me.
mm,
Right. So
mm.
just make sure that, and it's, we talked about reframing and things of that nature, and that comes there. Make sure you're having the right mindset shifts. That's why I say when you come and share some time with me in the Be Mindful experience, when we have the coaching for the 6 weeks, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about mindset shifts, and we're talking about it's to be prepared for the to be challenged, your thoughts to be challenged. I have to be fearless, or I need to be, or I get to be courageous.
Oh, I get to be courageous. I get to be. I get to be. One thing I've been studying this week is that fortune favors the bold. Fortune favors the bold, and I will say that being ignorant, I know some people don't like that word,
Yeah.
but me being ignorant and not knowing things has made me a successful woman.
Yep.
My idea of not knowing things puts me in the mindset that, not that Kristie knows more than me,
Mm.
but that Kristie has something to teach me. It
Yes.
keeps me in a learning environment, the more foolish I am about things. I like things explained down to me to the nitty gritty. I'm just that person. I love the nitty and the gritty. I mean, like, let's do it, you know?
I always say, look, I'm not too much of myself to say, okay, talk to me, tell me like you would tell somebody that's 5. because I'm not understanding what you're saying right now.
Dr. Kristie, you know oh my God, you spying at Black on the job. You are spying on it. I swear to Allah. Let me tell you, all of our process documents have to come with a secondary document that says, like sin is 5 years old.
Yes.
So it has to include cartoons, meaning that you got to put a visual to it. I don't accept nothing. I have fired project managers who's refused to make me a cartoon. I don't care. You have to, you got to put color on it. I don't accept black and white documents.
Yeah.
I don't accept like user stories. That's y'all fancy words for this shit now. Me, you got to paint me a picture and it got to be a cartoon. Okay, so
Yes.
what happens? So the bee go like this into the career coach, and then where they buzz to. Then they
Yes.
gotta put the little buzz line. I don't play around with that. You
That's
gotta
just how my brain works. Like immediately when I'm thinking of something and I'm like in my calendar, right? Everything that I used to write for my daughter was pink
mm,
because a girl, I mean, once again, we've been programmed, but that's how it works for me. That's how it
I'm
works for me. Anything I
with
write for my son is in blue. Anything that has to do with the bank is green. Anything that has to do with this is that. It's just how, we
yeah, I
process.
think
We
in
process.
color. I think
Hmm.
I tell people that. The other thing that I had read about was life meets you at the level of your audacity.
Yes, very true. If
You
you're
know,
bold enough to say it, be bold
yeah.
enough to make it happen.
I think that, and I also was reading, trust your own abilities, believe in yourself, read and gather information to gain confidence because every gift, every talent, and every opportunity is yours if you leave no stone left unturned.
Another thing is faith comes by hearing. So pay attention to who and what you're listening to.
Oh. During Ramadan, we're not allowed to really listen to music like that. I have to be very careful about music during Ramadan and things like that. And it is always such a beautiful reminder of how much information. Last week, you had told us to turn the news off, turn all of the noise off and kind of listen to ourselves. I think that when we look, especially at the be mindful, even what we're doing at Black on the Job, I I like the fact that I don't have a roadmap because I was speaking to a colleague this weekend. She owns a resume company, and I was telling her, like, and she was like, "What are you doing on Monday?" I said, "Oh, we have a new segment at Black on the Job. We're starting a new program out called Be Mindful." And she was like, "What does that got to do with?" I was like, "Well, with all of the job layoffs and stuff, people need encouragement, and so we have a 6-week program. We're doing lives to encourage people." And she was like, "So where does that go into your business model?" I said, "What's a business model, girl? We just doing it over here at Hive."
I mean, and what is it if you're not taking care of your people? Because who's going to do the business? Who's going to do the business?
But everything doesn't have to fit into this perfect frame, and
Hmm.
I had went the route that you did, after we laughed about it. I said, and I told her, I said, you've been trying to figure out why your business isn't cracking that 6 figures. You keep wondering why, and that's because you're so contained.
Not
You're
dealing with the
so
whole person,
contained.
the whole.
Right. And be bold with it.
Yeah.
It's going to favor the bold. I said, I don't know, girl. Maybe you love pottery. And so you decide to put a pottery expert in your company and they're teaching pottery classes. You don't know how that could expand your business, but because you're looking for the next right step, as you and I discussed, and the
Yes.
right step doesn't exist, it's just your step. That's it.
Yes. Yeah. It's
Every
it's
step is right if you make
it's
it.
listening. It's listening. What's going on, and what can I put in, add to fill up the cup, to fill the
Yeah.
cup back up, right?
Yeah. And
Hmm.
like you said, pausing, it gives you time to reflect. And I will encourage you guys to reflect 360, which means like, yes, look inward, but it gives you an opportunity to say, what do I have in front of me? What do I have behind me? What have I been through before that lends itself to the situation? What can I look forward to? What do I have inside of me? Who do I have next to me? And who do I no longer have? And if you pause with all of those things, your feelings will fool you. But also, when you get into that planning stage subconsciously, you've had a good view of everything you have around you that will lend itself to your next step. I promise you, That's the very best advice I can ever give you. Is you
Yes.
do that 360 inward. I call it the tornado. I'm like, I hate this, I hate that. I gotta call my friends. I got my emotional friend. She gonna be like, you know what, Sin, you're the best in the world. You're the best of the best of it. No one's better than you. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it all along. I'm gonna call my Esther's. I'm gonna call everybody. Then I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna get in
Yes.
my closet, and then I'm going to do that 360. And I even looked what's beneath me, which means things I have accomplished before.
Yeah. We talked about that, right? We talked about that this evening. Like when you
Good.
look back at that resume and remember and recall all of your successes and reconnect it. That's reconnecting with your strengths.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna leave you this, but this was my favorite one. I'm giving it to all my anxious friends. So if you here today on the live and you got this, I consider you an anxious friend. Call this your notice. Okay. It is. I love this quote by Mark Twain. Let me see. Mm, mm, Eped. This is what I have given all my anxious friends this week.
I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which have never happened. Very true. Very true.
This is as it's so true. I gave this to my mom because she's one of my anxious bees. I'm like, you've had a lot of worries in your life. Most of them
Yes.
have never happened.
Very true. So true. So true. And then, I mean, and then you can even go as far as to, and then when it does happen, the ones that do happen to happen, we're
Right,
here. We're
right.
here. So we obviously got through those too, the ones that seeped through.
Isn't that such a great quote for anxiousness?
Oh, yes.
Most things will work out. Everything works out for those who love God and are called according to his will. Everything works out, guys. Every
Hmm.
single thing. Once you get the working, but first we're gonna pause.
Yeah.
And we're going to take that look around. We're going to look up. We're going to look down to our sides, inside, in front of us, and behind us. And then, like you said, it's that action. And a lot of it does have to come with trust. And, I will say, one thing I will say is that you're aligning with someone who has very good intentions. You guys know, y'all know how I am about Black on Job. I am a gatekeeper. I am a dog. Yeah, y'all already know how I get down, y'all. I'm a monster with it. People can't, y'all, I don't do partnerships or nothing. Y'all know, you can't pay me for a partnership. Y'all already know how I get down. It is what it ain't. Yeah, that's why y'all barely got moderators at Black Job because I'm just that protective. I truly believe that those who go through your Be Mindful series for those 6 weeks and they trust, you know, and trusting is going to be, acting without always knowing what that end result is. And many
Yes.
times it's a protective manner. People that we put in charge and leaders that we put in charge, the reason why they're the one leading is because they know where we're going and they may not always tell you, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that anxiety may be too much for you. And so it's a
Hmm.
way to protect you and it's a form of care and compassion to
Yes.
not tell you the full plan because the plan is bigger than the amount of courage you have to act through the plan. And sometimes you got to look back and say, oh, wow, we went that far. You can't know how far you're going to go. You may be the person that you got to look back and be like, oh, wow, Dr. Kristie.
Just like when you're learning how to ride a bike, right? I remember specifically when I was learning how to ride a bike and my uncle was holding the back of the seat and running alongside and then let go. And then I'm halfway down the block and he's like, Kristie. And then I look like, oh, I've been doing it. What?
Yes, I appreciate it. I truly appreciate you taking this time with them for these 6 weeks. I'm going to be in the class too, guys. I don't believe in having too much courage. I live in an audacious space. I believe in being radical.
Yes.
things that I do. I'm very a radical person. I really believe in that. I think that if you guys approach it from that mindset that there's going to be space for for my feelings, it's also going to be space for my mind, it's going to be
Hmm.
space for my future, that as
Hmm.
you show up your full self will be taken care of.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I'll be resending you guys y'all sign up list. I'm doing it right now while y'all. Oh, I can't do it while I'm clicking on here because the live is gonna pause. I'm gonna resend it, guys, so that we can get you guys you be signed up. Remember that Black on the Job is partnering, and so we're paying half the bill for you guys. So for your 6 weeks, you're only paying 150. Y'all know we got the payment plans and everything set up for that. And there'll be an intake process. I'm sure Dr. Kristie is going to want to know more about you as an individual. That way we
Yes.
can partner you and sign up even if you don't feel ready,
Yeah.
right? You don't have to
Yes.
feel ready. Just know that you feel like, I feel like shit. This ain't for me. I don't know what happened. They took my job low.
And
That's what
if
I was complaining about. I loved it. I was playing.
and those that did sign up, I already sent out today. I sent out that email to give them the information how to take the next step. So make sure you hurry up and get in there
I
because
got
it's
homework.
limited spaces.
Yeah. She ain't lying because I ain't paying for everybody. I only got good money for 25. Y'all got 25 hot. Okay. After that 26B, you on your own, but I love you. Stay encouraged.
Take advantage. And that's why I love her. I love her
I love it.
because her I mean her willingness to want to make sure that you guys are good so that you guys can step out there standing firm, right? Ready.
Yeah, leaders have to make leaders. That's a big thing. A lot of people don't understand that the biggest job of servant leadership is to make other leaders. That's the
That's
point.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
need you guys to be back in the workforce because you guys get into leadership positions and management positions, and then we can place more bees. And
Yeah.
so I have an invested interest in your success because I need you in the workforce. I need you at your very best. I need you at the highest top positions so you can help me pull people up. I can't pull up the entire Black community by myself, although we are absolutely trying here at Black on the Job. We are absolutely, my audacious dream is I really believe that within 2 generations, Black on the Job is a natural part of Black culture, like BET. Like it's just a no,
Nice.
like it's just what we
Nice.
do here. Yeah. Like,
That's
so
right.
I cannot wait. We'll be in class soon. We'll get our be mindful. We'll get ourselves together. But as always, Dr. Kristie, we'll make sure that they get in contact with you guys. I love you.
I
I love
love you
you
too.
so much. And we'll see you